Alright, we have acquired the armor. Doesn't really do a whole lot, except it gives you a ground pound ability by crouching while you're in midair, and it allows you to melee the larger guys with Gatling guns and rocket launchers. Now we're retracing our steps here a bit, except now this time there are soldiers in this room. And what you need to do here is you need to do this room as cleanly as possible, because in the next room there is a Dark Trooper. Now, the first couple soldiers shouldn't give you any problems. You'll be shooting down on them from above, so you shouldn't have any problems landing headshots. But this is what you need to do in order to do the room cleanly. You need to pause on this ladder, shoot a grenade into this vent, and then as soon as it's in, hop off, ground pound the guy below you, move away from the edge of the platform and crouch, and then send a grenade down at those guys behind the sandbags. That should take out all of them except for the one last guy in the corner, and you shouldn't have any problems with him. Now, unfortunately, there is no foolproof strategy for getting through this encounter. You will get yourself killed here a couple of times, and you'll have to redo the previous room. Reason being is because there's a Dark Trooper right there in the center of the room. And the problem is that there is a soldier with an SMG standing right in front of him, so he's basically completely covered from him until the fighting starts. The way that I like to do this is A, start off with as much health as possible, in this case I've got full health, and B, bonk him on the head with a grenade, or at least try to, and then shoot him with a headshot from above before he can activate his hook shot. It doesn't always work, and sometimes this gets me killed. Another thing you can try that will have varying degrees of success is to foam him to freeze him so that he can't shoot you, but I've found that a lot of times when you foam these guys, they become immune to bullets. So you can see I had full health going into this fight, and now I have just a little more than half of my health left. So that's why you need to do the previous room as cleanly as possible. But once you're through this fight, you're basically home free to the next save room. Alright, so I think it needs to be said here that this is my least favorite section of the entire game, this next boss fight coming up. It really highlights the weaknesses of the auto-aim and your ability to aim into the screen. So, what I want to do is go into this boss fight with full health, and there's a way to do that by using a glitch with these save rooms. And before you give me shit for using a glitch, let me explain how this works. What you do is you go into the save room and you fill up on as many health packs as possible, leave the save room, and re-enter the save room with your increased amount of health, and then save and quit the game and revert to your last save. When you do that, all of the health packs in the save room will respawn. Why do I not consider this abusing the glitch? Because I could do the exact same thing by just filling up on the health packs, leaving the save room and re-entering with my increased amount of health, and then just throwing myself at the enemies and getting myself killed intentionally. I could accomplish the exact same thing. Now, I've been doing this off camera in order to go into tough firefights with as much health as possible, but be warned, this strategy is not foolproof, because when you revert to your last checkpoint in order to respawn the health packs in the save room, it also respawns any enemies that you've already killed. So if you manage to get halfway through to the next save room and then run back to the previous save room and use this glitch to refill your health, it doesn't work like that because it's going to respawn all of the enemies. Alright, with that out of the way, make sure you're going into this boss fight with full health because you're going to need it. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys with Gatling guns, and here you are caught out in the open as soon as you have control. Now you can duck behind these panels, except they randomly flip down and leave you exposed. In addition to that, you have to completely rely on the auto-aim to aim for you here, because these guys are inside the screen as opposed to right next to you. To make matters even worse, from below each of these guys will spawn a bunch of flame bombas. These guys are similar to the suicide grunts from Halo. They just try to get close to you and then explode, dealing a huge amount of damage and usually killing you. So, the only semi-reliable way I found to get through this fight on Insane is to take cover by these 7 steel barrels over here on the left. From here, it seems like they have a harder time shooting you, and you have an easier time shooting them. So I went into that fight with full health, and I only have less than 100 left. That's why I recommend you use the save room glitch. Now, about what I just said about enemies respawning if you revert to your last save, this encounter does not count as respawnable enemies. This encounter counts as a one-time boss fight, and once you're through it the first time, it'll save your progress as having completed it, and you won't have to redo it. And in the very next room, you have another boss fight, but fortunately this guy is a total joke.
This is as far as you go, kid.
Who are you people? And what the hell is the Restoration?
None of your business.
It wasn't. Now it is.
So this guy just tries to run at you and hit you. Now, unfortunately, if he makes contact, it's an instant kill. So all you have to do is back away and shoot him. He is completely immune to foam, and grenades are no more effective than your bullets, really, so just use your infinite ammo to shoot him. If you reach the end of the hallway, just hop over his head and then head back the other way. Occasionally he'll use his gun here to try to shoot you. You can shoot his projectiles out of the air, but really, most of the time he just tries to hit you. You want to make sure you jump across this gap because there's a lot of soldiers down below you, so you want to make sure you don't fall down there. Now, despite there being a lot of guys in this room, it's really not that difficult because you are completely covered if you come back here and crouch. You're mostly covered if you stand up, but you are completely covered if you crouch.
Okay, Claire. Now we get the hell out of here.
Friction safety acquired. Operating capacity at 60%.
Okay, we have acquired another new piece of equipment. This time around it's called the Friction Dampener, or more informally, the Hyper Boots. They allow you to run really fast and smash through stuff that glows blue when you shine the flashlight on it. Now, in order to use this ability, you have to kind of charge it up for a little bit by sprinting for a short distance, and then it'll kick in. Now, something to note about this is that if you jump anytime while you're charging up this Hyper Boost ability, it'll completely cancel the charging up process and you'll have to start it over from the beginning. Falling actually speeds up this process, but jumping completely cancels it. Only other thing I think you need to know about the Hyper Boots is that you can kill enemies by running straight through them while you're running really fast, but you're not invulnerable to bullets, you're just really hard to hit. In addition to that, you can also run on the walls and the ceilings with them, although that has somewhat limited uses. So this room is made really easy by the fact that you basically immediately kill the first couple of soldiers in the Fomba right off the bat by running through them with the Hyper Boost. All you have to do is shoot the bomba off the ceiling and then use grenades to take out the guy with the Gatling gun. Now, before continuing forward, I highly recommend you grab the previous save room, because it's likely that you'll die in the next section. So, use your jetpack to get back up here, run in here and save. So for this encounter, your main piece of cover is this raised bridge, and what you want to do is just hang off of the side of it. Just like so. Try to take out the two turrets first, although they can be kind of hard to hit because of the angle of the platform, but it's not impossible. Just keep shooting until they go down. Next, you want to try to use grenades to take out as many of the soldiers as possible before you have to stick your head out and shoot them. If you've been picking up the grenade packs, you can probably kill all these guys with grenades, although I only have 6. The door in front of you is blocked by a blue Hyper Boots barrier, so you're going to have to go up and around like so. And here's another mini puzzle. You have a giant wind turbine here that you can't get through because it keeps blowing you back. What you have to do is hit the lever to lower this bridge. And now you go back outside and use your Hyper Boots to smash through all the walls. Before, when that bridge was up, you would just smash right into it with your Hyper Boots, but now you can run across it. Before you do that, however, I recommend you go up here and grab the save room, because it will save in a state that recognizes that you have lowered that bridge, so if you die, you won't have to lower the bridge again. After that bit, you're going to find yourself in here. Just do some simple platforming with your jetpack to get to the top. For this next room, I highly recommend that you don't just drop down into it, you ground pound into it, because a lot of times you'll land on the soldier's head and kill him instantly. Then immediately take cover over here to the left, because on the right there is a Dark Trooper. But this is one of those Dark Troopers that doesn't seem to have a hook shot. Instead, he has missiles, so usually I can take him out pretty easily. With that accomplished, you have yet another mini puzzle. The exit to the room is right here below me, and if you shine your flashlight on it, you'll see that these crates glow blue. That means you need the hyper boots to destroy them. But the run-up from the center of the room to this wall isn't far enough in order for the hyper boost to kick in. So what you have to do is come up here where I am, run off to the left, let the hyper boost kick in, run up the wall and onto the ceiling, jump off of the ceiling, and then you'll smash through them. Before you get too far though, grab the save room. You are very likely to get killed in the next coming section because there are a lot of dangerous combat encounters, so make sure that you grab the save room so that you're not going all the way back. You'll notice that we're backtracking a little bit and going through some rooms that we've already been in. As for this encounter, you've already done this once, so just handle it the same way that you did before. Now remember this room, remember how you can grenade these boxes down? Why do you do that? In order to make a platform that you can run on in order to charge up your hyper boost. Remember how I said that jumping while you're charging up your hyper boost completely cancels it, so you need a flat platform to run on. So now that you have your hyper boots, jump and smash through these walls. You'll automatically pick up these gold bars and then smash through that guy with a Gatling gun. This room, however, is likely to get you killed simply because there are so many enemies in it. Your best piece of cover is actually hanging onto the left side of that box above me that's moving up and down. That would be even safer than where I am now. Failing that, you can go up the ladder and make sure you go all the way to the top so that you're shooting down on them. Now I'm standing on top of this box, but an even better place would be to hang off of the left side of it.
Power down immediately and surrender, and you won't be hurt. Same to you. You've got the armor, but you don't know how to use it. I'm a quick learner.
So, one more boss fight standing between us and our next gun. This guy is identical to the first time we fought him, except his behavior is different. Instead of trying to run at you and hit you, he actually prefers to use his gun. This is actually a lot safer than the other method because it's not an instant kill and you can completely shoot the projectiles out of the air with your own gun. Notice, however, that the ceiling is a lot lower than the last fight. This means that if this guy backs you into the wall, you can't jump over his head to get onto the other side of him and you will be screwed. That said, I've never died to this guy. You can always kill him before he backs you into the wall and hits you. Not saying it's not a close call on Insane, but it is always possible. That's about going to do it for this section of the game. I'll see you in the next video where we're going to be playing around with our new gun and we're going to be finally rescuing Claire. Again.
AR-60. Excellent.